Welcome to Strongest Style. Yes, your ears do not deceive you. I am back on the saddle. I have kicked Cooper to the side for this week. Speaking of Cooper, we have a lot of co-hosts on this podcast. This is first all off the rails immediately. Welcome to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. I'm Logan Hurston, if you didn't know, if this is your first time. And I'm, of course, joined by my esteemed co-hosts, the Gimmick Killer, Cooper Prater.
Fellow gimmick killers, I regret to inform you that day 2 of requesting that Strongest Style become a sumo podcast on the odd months has been denied once again. We will keep trying, and one day we will, in fact, get there.
Hey, I watched the sumo clips that you sent into the group chat. I reacted to one today.
I saw. So we're making progress. We'll get you there.
slowly but surely. Speaking of big Puro heads, he is a giant. I don't know how he got him through the door. He's so big that we had to ship him off the floor today. Mr. Jack Dudley.
On Noah Soul, we all jester maxing in 2026. No, that's right. I'm doing this show on location in Clearwater, Florida. It is a tropical episode of Strongest Style. I really was...
He's going to break into the Performance Center, ladies and gentlemen,
right,
live on air.
I'm taking part in the tryouts tomorrow.
We're getting Charlie Dempsey out of there, brother. Don't worry. We're getting him out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make sure he's only in AJPW.
Yeah. But pay no attention to the black bag over William Regal's head. We're taking him to a nice place where he will be nice and comfortable. That's
one way to describe it. But welcome in. It's been an interesting week. I think we've all watched completely different things.
Too much.
Almost
we have watched.
Definitely true.
Barely any correlation between the three of us, I would say, in our watches. We're
there
like
is
the couple
some.
AEW. I mean, really, me and you watching a couple of the AEW matches, and did you watch any of the New Japan Cup? Because last time I checked, you said you were not watching it.
No, I am, in fact, boycotting Shin Nihon Pro Res because fuck those guys. I did. I did watch. It is all Fale's fault. But I did watch night 1 of 16 Karat, Logan, so I can contribute there.
Nice. I was planning on watching New Japan, and then I was like, well, I want to watch 16 Karat, and then I'm like, there's not enough time. Though I do plan on going back and watching Oiwa and Ice, and I do want to watch the Fale match because big ups to the Don,
right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
The future.
Forget about it.
Don, he said.
The Don. He is a Don Fale. Is he not the Don?
He is the Don.
You know, they can just call themselves anything. It doesn't
kiss the ring,
matter.
Cooper. Kiss the ring, like he put in that Instagram post. But before we can get into all the wonderful, interesting matches and promos and what have yous of wrestling, we have to get into the news, and it's not going to be a fun one.
Oh, God.
Is there anything before the elephant in the room that is worth mentioning?
Well, David Finlay.
Yes.
That did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were going to get into that with AEW anyway, but we can get into it now.
Yeah, sure. He fucking
He was there.
jobbed out his dad.
That is true.
That was
He
good.
said, I made a whole lot more money with Gabe and Clark than I did ever with my father and brother as pretty beasts.
Yeah,
I hope that quote makes you feel better, Jack, because you know that there was no way he was sticking in New Japan. So it's at least
I liked seeing that this morning. Gabe Kidd said fuck Ninja VW or something.
He did. That was what he said, according to Sean.
Legend.
I'm glad we can leave them in 2025.
Bro, you got to top into the dogs, man.
No,
what are you doing?
Dogs. Somebody. I was on some wrestling Discord, and they were like, can we come up with a better name than just the Dogs? And someone said, what about the dog spelled DAWGS? And I was
That
like,
would be pretty hype.
I'd be pretty down with that myself.
I am in favor of calling them the Dargs, DAWRGS.
Like it, yeah.
Yeah, Boss Dog, David Finlay.
Sounds
What the dog's
Boss
doing.
Dog. The Boss Dog TK had to make a call to the real Boss Dog. You know what I'm saying? Give him that money.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's actually true.
that is true. I was not expecting. I don't know. I guess I was kind of seeing that he might. I honestly thought he was going to stay in New Japan after all of this. I thought he was going to.
I was kind of convincing myself as well, yeah.
Well, it was just like it says on both sides there wasn't like super interest. I'm sure AEW offered him more money than he would have gotten WWE for sure, and he'd be on. There is no main roster in AEW. Or I guess there's Ring of Honor, but like he would be on, their premiere show kind of thing. Well, their second premiere show because the premiere show is Collision, but. I did think he was going to at least do one more year in New Japan after like all this, but I don't know. Maybe he wants to stay stateside, be close to his family, which I can never fault him for. I definitely can't fault him for going to AEW. I think it's pretty. I'm interested to see how he works on the roster. I don't know how much he will fit. They have so many dudes there.
It is interesting. Sorry, no, I will go actually. I will actually go, Cooper.
Take it. Take it.
I'll say this. I think David Finlay, and I genuinely mean this, is one of those guys that will just rise to the top no matter what. And I wouldn't say that about a lot of people that go over to AEW. I think Finlay is kind of quietly a really unique talent. He's very charismatic, and very kind of special for the type of style that he wrestles. And I think it'll be a new and refreshing sort of archetype to have in AEW. And I think with Kidd and Connors behind him, I think he can go very far. I think he has a higher ceiling than Wyatt even did when he left, because I think that Finlay is interesting in that he has so much untapped potential. He was not, even though he was sort of, I guess, the default. Well, no, he's not. He wasn't even really the top foreigner while he was there. It was really Zach with TMDK behind him, and Finlay has
Probably top heel foreigner.
Yes, I guess so. But I was gonna say Ospreay and White certainly came to AEW as finished products with many years as main eventers under their belts, whereas Finlay was sort of just reaching that pinnacle of what he could do. And I think that's kind of more exciting for people. I think you could really see him hit his stride over there. I'm not sure. It also seems like AEW has a bit of a drought on like really big main event heels right now. After, I guess they've got a lot of guys in the family, but Moxley's turned face once again. Wyatt is of course out, and MJF, I guess, is their guy. He's very bad. So I have to. I'd place my bets on David. I think he has the potential to go very far.
Well, I'm glad you believe that, but I'm interested to see what Cooper has to say about this.
Well, look, I am also I am cautiously optimistic is how I will phrase it in regards to Finlay and AEW. I am a big fan of his. I think he is a really incredible worker and very underrated. Is one of those guys that like people don't usually like think of him as like a really great work rate guy. But then I mean, you sit down and watch, like 3-4 of his matches back to back, and like, I mean, this guy can fucking go. I think it is a really good pickup for AEW. It is a good landing spot for him. Look, let's be entirely real with ourselves. There was never any world in which he stayed in New Japan. He wanted to go, and like that's about as much as you can do at that point. Like, really, and they were never going to push him to the title picture. I just don't think they ever were. They saddled him with that global belt for the entirety of its existence, and I think that's just where they saw him, which is unfair to him, I think, and and just with the sheer fact of the matter being that they are in an economy that does not incentivize paying foreigners to fly in or to stay in for extended periods of time. I just don't think that was ever going to be a situation that he was going to find long-term happiness in the same way that I think like somebody like a Zach but obviously does find a real sense of satisfaction working there. I would be very surprised if Zack Sabre Jr. ever left, but David Finlay, not so much. And AEW, I think, is the best landing spot for him in America. It's clear from the reports that have been circling around ever since really his departure seemed imminent, that WWE, which was his seemingly goal, was not particularly interested, or at least not interested in a role that he thought that he deserved. And we're seeing evidently in NXT the way that this little thing with his brother and his father Finlay is playing out, and I think I speak for several people when I say that if David was involved in that storyline, that would be a tremendous waste of his time. And that it would just sink his value way, way down further by the time that his contract came up. AEW, however, will let him wrestle the way that he wants to wrestle. They will let him work with the people that he wants to work with, most notably, of course, now being Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. And we'll get into the presentation and overall kind of impact that the Dogs have had in their first appearances in AEW so far later on in the show. But yeah, I think that it was kind of a no-brainer. If that's kind of the long and short of this All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling connection, is that when these guys leave, they have a pretty direct path, a pretty direct next step into if they want to make inroads in America, obviously, several New Japan fans have a lot of feelings about that, but that's just kind of how the wrestling landscape is at the minute. All the best of luck to Mr. Finlay, but yeah, good on him for dunking on NXT for a second. So.
I'm gonna be the one kind of not really pessimist, but I think Finlay is a very, very good wrestler, and I agree with all these points. I might be wrong. And again, when Kevin Knight signed, a lot of people didn't think he was going to be as utilized and as almost like a soon-to-be perennial, possibly main event guy. As he's definitely
I'm gonna hedge my thing for a second. I don't think David Finlay's ever gonna be AEW World Champion. I don't think that is not a point that I see. I see him being reliable, and I see him being a good, maybe even a title challenger at some point. But yeah, I think I know where you're going, Logan, and I want to say I tangentially agree. Maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going. I can see him eventually getting a main event push in the way of I can see him being a challenger. I can see him holding a mid-card title for a while. But I don't see him rising much above where he was at in New Japan, just because of how stacked AEW's world title scene is. Even these guys where we've been like Fletcher's going to be next up. He's still in the TNT scene. You know, he's got a one title push. We've had these guys like Kevin Knight and others that have been knocking at the door, and you have your already like Kevin Knight, you know, Brody King, Bandito, who's been knocking on these main event scenes, and then you have like your
It's a loaded roster.
So that's where I'm like, I don't think his act is going to be something that's necessarily going to hop him immediately. No, I definitely see him getting like probably at some point a main event against some babyface, like if Ospreay holds the title, or if Hangman somehow holds the title again, I could see him facing him and it being a really good program. But I don't know if he'll ever get, you know, we'll see. But I mean, at the same time, I never thought Kevin Knight would be doing as much as he's been doing now, where I'm like, I feel like he eventually will get a world title. Or possibly, I feel like there's a good shot at that for him. Like, I would not have thought that.
They would be kind of stupid.
I would not have thought that when he signed on the roster. You know, would you have, Cooper?
I could maybe see hints of it,
but like
in a way that I still definitely can't see with Finn. I mean, well, also, and there's just the fact Finley's a lot older now, you know, and Kevin Knight is still absolutely in his prime, is going to be in his prime for a very, very long time. So yeah, but I do agree with you there that he is probably not going to, you know, set the world of AEW on fire or anything, but I don't think he needs to, and I don't think maybe that's even his goal. Sure. Really, I think mostly his goal right now is to find a stable job that pays well.
Definitely he's going to get. You know, he's going to have way less travel. He's going to be able to stay in the U.S. He's going to be able to work less. You know, it's a very great deal for him. I also, it is interesting seeing this as like, I thought Gabe was going to be like the big signing. And now Gabe's kind of back where he was, you know, being Finley's second. So it'll be interesting to see how he factors in on the roster, especially with, like, a lot of these, we'll get into it, but a lot of these tags they've been having, like, you know, they've been on the losing side. So, consistently.
Against anybody who isn't a local competitor,
So Gabe lost the Darby at the pay-per-view by a roll-up, but then every single, like, tag match, him and or Connor's, almost every one they've lost. So but I mean, they've been great. I mean, they've been every time they're in a match on TV, like especially that combination. They've done a combination of like them, Darby, Orange, and Connors, or
they've
Connors
really
with
lost
like
the
Danny
first
stuff. Like
few
every
matches.
combination of it, I've been like, this is must see TV. I think it's great every time. I haven't got it sale for me at least, but what?
Oh, we'll never take back everything I said. Actually, a second ago. Never mind.
Well, to be fair, he got a huge push on Collision.
Yeah, true.
So let's also.
Gabe Kidd's on Dynamite every week, brother. And on Collision, he's double duty. So.
That is true.
Yeah,
and Collision,
bro.
Collision.
So
you're telling me that Tommaso
Ciampa
Ciampa came in and got this huge push out the gate with the TNT title and the
Let's just get into the thing.
So
let's get into
I'll do it. Pro Wrestling Eve is a promotion. If you don't know,
I only know what I see pop up.
It's been around for a long time, but most recently in the last year or so, Will Ospreay has taken up a job as an executive producer. His wife, Alex Windsor, has very famously worked there for years, had great matches, and it's all women's promotion. And recently they had a show on International Women's Day. I think it was Wrestle Queendom, which... Yes.
I think it was the 8th version of their Wrestle Queendom event.
Yeah.
It's their big show
and they brought in a bunch of talent, like, in the local scene, talent outside of it, as in, like, Chris Statlander has been working for the last couple months. Willow came in. Shuri, I was going to say.
Shuri.
Is there anybody else I'm missing? I guess Charlie, which is formerly Dakota Kai, they brought in for a match with Chris Statlander. Yeah.
Yes, made her return to wrestling.
And a pretty, Ospreay, while he's been injured, is basically all he's been mainly doing is marketing Pro Wrestling Eve and how big of a, how proud he is of this promotion and the ladies working there. The event went on without a hitch. A lot of people, from what I saw, I didn't get to watch it because with everything keeping up. I was planning on it, and then we'll get into why I didn't watch it in a second here. Will Ospreay, being the great guy he is, says, I'm going to shout out every single person involved in making this show, from breaking down wrestler by wrestler involved in the matches, to the people backstage, the former owner, the commentators, and some of the producers, including one, Paul Robinson. And if you don't know who Paul Robinson is, when Will Ospreay was a young little lad, he learned from a couple of twats in England, as we would like to say, by the names of the Swords of Essex, Scotty Wainwright, who was also super canceled, the start of the Speaking Out movement. Yeah,
who is
completely
done.
cut ties.
Yeah, ain't nobody hearing from
and
Scott
Paul
Wainwright
Robinson,
ever again.
bald little freak, who, if you don't know, there have been allegations that he, I think, took advantage of a 16-year-old that was inebriated. Now, there has never became anything of it, but what is confirmed is that he did, by his own merit, go into a pub and drank and made out with a 16-year-old girl.
Okay, so here I read the Cultaholic statement, at least, and in that, I will say he does not admit to having made out with her, that I could see. But I have been seeing people say that he has admitted that part of it. But I'm just saying, in that the statement that is written up in Cultaholic that everybody's been reposting, I did not see that. He does admit to getting close with her, which I do not know
and
to what extent
was
that
happening,
means.
This is a guy who is
a
older, at the time, veteran on the scene, who is married with children.
Yes, I believe he was in his late 20s
again,
at the time.
16-year-old girl. Say what you want about the allegations, even if again, there was nothing ever confirmed, there was nothing ever done legally. But I don't think you should have an executive producer for an all-women show where a lot of the fans might be women or young women, have a guy like that roaming around backstage. Even if, and I know, my thing is, like, a lot of people, like, this came as, like, a shock. Less than the Hangman stuff with Marty. But, like, for me it didn't, because I still pay attention to Progress. And, Will Ospreay was banned from Progress for years because of this. Because of the stuff with Scotty and Paul, and all three of them were kind of like, even though Will didn't do anything because of his, like, cooperation and stuff, and I think, like, getting Pollyanna blacklisted, he was banned from Progress for a while. And they brought him back. There was a thing.
I do not believe that is true.
It was Progress and a couple things that was like, I'm telling you, I can look this up.
Logan. I understand. I do not think, and maybe this was an unofficial policy or whatever. I don't know, but they certainly never would have put anything official. Progress Wrestling at the time would have never banned Will Ospreay, their biggest draw, the biggest name in British wrestling at the time and since. I just don't think that that's true. I mean, I know that he did not work with them for the most part, but he was still very busy in New Japan at the time as well. So I think he was naturally cutting his ties anyways. And they brought him back, of course, years later to have a match with, I don't know, some fucker on some anniversary show or whatever.
Yeah, but what I was saying is, there was a while there where he in the midst of, like, starting New Japan, him and there was a bunch of the people who basically stopped working there. And they brought him back, I think, in, like, 2023, right before his AEW run. He did Super Strong South 16. And at the same time that he returned, who else returned? And who did he team with?
Paul
Robinson,
I believe. Yes.
And it's like,
yes.
oh yeah, it's like, that doesn't shock me that he's backstage. I think it's shocking because I don't think they necessarily hit it, but they definitely were advertising that he was there until Will made that tweet. And
they did. I don't believe that they hid it.
Yes,
because people had seen him, but they did not make a point of saying that he was there, because why would they? He's a producer. Yeah. But people had seen him backstage at those shows for at least like the past year, I believe is what I've heard.
I have an article that says what the thing says. Wrestling announces the news of their official website stated that Ospreay and Robinson will be welcomed back to both Progress TNT Extreme Wrestling as a team and as individuals. The announcement noted their return comes after a comprehensive investigation in which both talents complied with all requests. And then Will sent a tweet about it that was like, after years of being away, I'm so happy we can put aside any issues with Progress. Blah, 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 blah. I can't wait to see myself return. So, there was a while there.
None of that is a ban.
It's not necessarily a ban, but he was not being booked.
They weren't working together for a number of years. That's not a ban.
All right. You're right.
I'm sorry I'm being annoying, but I do want us to get the facts of these things
I will
correct.
say, it is funny. Whenever the statement about it, I look it up on Progress' website, it's just not there anymore. It's gone.
You know, it's progress. I don't know what to tell you.
Remember when they were like the biggest promotion in weird times?
Oh yeah. I was
me
tapped
too.
in for a little bit.
Ashamed.
Yeah, you know.
But anyway.
Yeah. Anyways,
what do you think about this, guys?
I am going to be honest. I don't know enough about the Robinson. I know y'all just did a quick rundown of it. I don't know enough about the Robinson allegations to make much of a judgment call on this. I didn't pay much attention to this one. I do think similar things to what I thought with the Page situation. We talked about that about a month ago. I think regardless of what you can say about whether or not people are allowed to keep their friends as their friends despite, them doing shady things, I think it is a bit ridiculous. And at the very least, if not, it's bad for your brand is the least you can say. And it's kind of stupid to associate with people who have such bad things to their name, because it rubs off, on how people view Eve and now also AEW, because both of them together, especially pro wrestling. Is it Pro Wrestling
Yes.
Eve?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. It is, and even then, I'd say it's one thing having him on the production team, and then another thing like making a huge deal out of it. It's just a weird situation, and what I think these are very, very complicated conversations that I again don't feel comfortable, saying when I don't know exactly what Bro did or what all went down there. But I always think when it comes to things like this, like, you should probably not do that just because of the backlash you are getting. That in and of itself is a good reason, not to go out and do something like this. It makes everyone feel weird and uncomfortable and unsure whether or not they want to support you. And that is not for no reason, I will say. I don't think it is the death knell for Pro Wrestling Eve, but it's just disappointing and stupid.
Yeah.
Stupidity does certainly seem to be the recurring theme here, not only with professional wrestlers as a whole, because let us remind ourselves that these are people who fall on their heads for a living. But with Mr. William Ospreay in particular, who, to quote a man who we just talked about, Mr. David Finlay, when talking about, I believe, Flip Gordon, I think he was replying to here, when he said, "You are the dumbest person I know, and I know Ospreay." Like, that's, it has been well known that there is a cymbal clapping monkey in the place in his head where his brain should be. But look, Bill's own stupidity aside, although I say aside, it is kind of the the main thing here. Look, Will Ospreay clearly is a guy who had been given a very, very large spotlight on him from a very young age.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember hearing when he was 20 about him and seeing clips of his matches and stuff like that, and people saying that he was the greatest British wrestler at the time. And now, as he has progressed in his career from Progress to New Japan to AEW, hearing, obviously there are several people who I think consider him just the best wrestler in the world, period, right now. And that's here nor there. But he has always been somebody who has been given a substantial amount of attention and influence within his chosen field of professional wrestling. And this has manifested itself in, ways that I think one could imagine giving a very young, very, some might say full of himself, young man, a position of large amounts of power and influence at 20 would amount to, which is, him covering up for the actions of his shithead friends. And in the initial kind of wave of speaking out that happened in the early 2020s, the big kind of thing in regards to Ospreay there was the blacklisting of Pollyanna, in regards, I think, largely to the Scott Wainwright thing. And Paul Robinson's particular story here is, I think, of a similar but also different ilk than, say, to bring up Hangman Page, Marty Scurlls, or David Starrs, the names from that wave that were pretty categorically canned the instant that those stories were made public. What Paul Robinson did or did not do is still, I think, just by nature of how little it has been covered, much murkier waters than that is. More has come out to light recently that does not portray him in a very positive light, I think. And if I were somebody with more knowledge of his particular situation and somebody who was involved within the scenes that he is involved with, I would probably say that in order to safeguard this scene, this promotion, this this audience, we should probably not have this guy here. Mm-hmm. No matter how good of an insight he might have into wrestling, or how buddy him and Will are, or whatever, if you are somebody who is in a position and who knows more about this, you owe it to not only yourself and your promotion, but your audience and the other wrestlers on your roster as well, who are also women, and largely of an age similar to the woman that Paul Robinson is, his allegations were related to. I think that you're like, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys don't get to run a show like that anymore. I think if I were a big Pro Wrestling Eve fan, which I'm not. I watched a little bit of the show right before Wrestle Queendom, just to kind of get a sense for what they were, and it was not particularly my thing or whatever. I was thinking about tuning into the Wrestle Queendom show, and then this news dropped. But like, if I was like somebody in that area who had been going to these shows for months or years, I would feel really kind of betrayed by this. And I would be very surprised. I mean, I'm going to be curious to see what, if any, the reaction from that fan base will be to this. And that is ultimately, what that promotion's legacy is going to be. And it's going to be what Ospreay's legacy is going to be, whether he likes it or not. And look, Ospreay, I'm sure, is still in line for very big things down the road. He is probably going to make his return from injury sooner rather than later. He will probably have a very heavy involvement in All In at Wembley this year. But when that happens, in much the same way that whenever Hangman Page is going to be involved in major AEW programs right now, there will be, amongst a certain segment of the fan base, a general tampering of excitement to see him, and he has to eat that, it's just the real, tricky thing about professional wrestling, right, is that this is we all know this because we're all adults, that bad behavior permeates this business. And I think even more than that, I would say to a certain degree, it is kind of inherent to the business. There was an article that was circulating around the time of the Hangman thing that said your favorite wrestler is a carny. All right, let's not ever forget where this business comes from. It comes from people trying to con you out of your money by saying, and this is to crib a line from the article, yes, you, young man, can defeat the strong man. And then, no, you can't. Absolutely not. Yes, this is a business that will lie to you and spit on you and, stomp all over your heart the instant that it is financially profitable for them to do so. You don't know any of these people. Think of your favorite, least problematic wrestler that you like. Is it Bryan Danielson? Is it Kenny Omega? Is it, I don't know, Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens? God forbid it's Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens. God forbid that is. But look, man, it's. I don't mean to sound so, pessimistic about it, but I mean, look, the real moral stance is to just not watch any of it. Genuinely, if you want to take it that far, I mean, because at a certain point, the rot is so deep in the core of it. It transcends companies. It transcends it is in the nature of the business. And that sucks. And I hope and I pray and I really, really would like for there to be a sort of mass mobilization to uproot that rot and to replace it with something that is kinder and more empathetic and less accepting of these fucking weirdos that seem to be attracted to this industry like flies. But I doubt that will happen, certainly within my lifetime, but I hope it does, and I applaud, the people who are jumping on this and and not letting people forget about it, and not letting people forget about stories like Pollyanna's, somebody who unfortunately kind of got, relegated to history for a while, even in the immediate aftermath of her story coming out. That is a huge indictment on not only the business, but on us as a fan base, so like, look, we're a professional wrestling podcast. We talk about this stuff every week. All right. And there are obviously, certain promotions and companies that we don't talk about because we're not very interested in it. But, the bad behavior is not relegated to those companies. All right. It is in the companies that we watch, and it's in the companies that you watch. And it's just, you have to be aware of it. And when it shows its head, as it has more recently in the past couple of months, you have to call it out and, just stay on it is what I say. So that's my overall thoughts on the bigger picture topic. But yeah, so, and I think not to speak for everybody here, but I would like to imagine that that's kind of the stance that this podcast as a whole would like to take.
100%. I mean,
I was just going to say, yeah.
Cool. All right.
You are a scholar.
Thank you.
I mean, 100%. It's like we talked about in the past. Like, there is no promotion. I'm sure if you dig through every single one, that there's not going to be so many bad eggs. Like not even just like a couple. Like, there's a lot. Like, especially, I mean, even all these guys like that we have now that like, we enjoy, but like if you go through anybody who wrestled in the 2000s, like aside from just like the completely deplorable stuff that we're talking about right now, like I mean just like stuff that we play one Excalibur clip, brother, he's gone.
Yeah, dude.
Like if truly, like if they truly put this man on blast, he is at any moment they have the smoking gun.
Brother,
it's like
I listened to Jim Ross commentary. It's
right. Yes, bad. It's bad.
Like, yeah, man. It's like,
Yep.
There's
For sure.
Everybody's gonna have their own particular gauge for what's a deal breaker for them entirely, and that's perfectly fine. That's I understand that more than anybody, right? Like I've written off an entire company for largely moral reasons, but this it extends greatly, so.
Yep, 100%.
Well, hey, there was another. Let's segue here a little bit from all women's promotion that is maybe hold our horses about getting into them, but there was not an all women's promotion, an all women's show over in the cathedral of professional wrestling, where professional wrestling lives. Many would say, Arena Mexico, in Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I believe.
Was I the only one that watched this all women's wrestling show? Am I the
100%.
only one who respects women's wrestling around here?
Well, I wasn't going to say it out loud.
Well,
I've been watching the Cinderella tournament. Come on.
Okay. You're off the hook. You're off the hook, Jack.
It's just Logan. It's just Logan.
Yeah, it's just.
I did not watch an all women's promotion, but I have the last 4 weeks.
Logan, name 2 women.
Name two, Chihiro Hashimoto and Danny Luna, because they had a match during 16 karat gold.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But though you could give me flack all you want. The reason why is this week I was watching WXW, but like literally the past 4 weeks I've been talking about Sendai Girls. So I've been doing due
Sendai
diligence.
Girls is great. Yes.
But I did want to watch this show. I just, I'm not as well versed in you and finding the ways to watch things, especially CMLL related. Because when I try, my laptop or phone decides to blow up. But I did hear about this show, and I do want to go back on it, especially the match I'm sure you're going to gush about. But go ahead.
To address your first point, the way that you access CMLL is by paying at least $8 a month on their official YouTube channel membership. So let's just mark that there for the sponsors. No, so yeah, I am of course referring to CMLL's La Noche de la Amazonas, actually, show from I think just this past weekend, or no, the weekend before rather. And the thing about this show is it is all women all the way down, from the wrestlers in the ring to the ring announcers to the commentators to the referees, just all women all across this show. And I would say this was a pretty great Arena Mexico card. I would just put this up there, amongst some of the best, Friday shows that they've put out recently with those big Mystico main events and stuff. So I'm not going to go super in depth on everything on here because not every match deserves that much death, quite frankly. But the ones that do, I think, are really, really great, and some matches of the year, which we will get to. So we started off the night with a match for the Mexican National Women's Tag Team titles. Now, this is one of CMLL's many titles that don't really mean much of anything and aren't really important in the grand scheme of things. But they are kind of placeholder belts so that people who are, maybe working their way up in the ranks can have an accomplishment to hold on to, and so the current champions are this team of Kira and Scotty, who people who have been watching the Friday shows will probably have seen a little bit. I know they also work the Arena Coliseo shows on the Saturday ones quite a bit. But so I have seen these two before in a number of matches, and at the time, I've always kind of checked in on them. They have, I think, gotten just a little bit better each go around. The first time I saw them, they were very, I think, sort of new to each other and maybe new to wrestling as a whole. I don't know exactly how long they've been wrestling, but that is kind of the vibe that they gave off in those early matches. But I think right now they've gotten comfortable enough with each other that they are, I think, actually pretty good little tag team. Kira is pretty solid technically. Scotty, however, is probably the more notable of the two competitors. She is much bigger and has a really cool costume and mask kind of combination. And she's just really dynamic in ring too. She does some really good solid power stuff. And so their opponents were Candela and Metallica, who I have never seen before, but also I think put up a pretty good little fight against them. Came up short though. Kira and Scotty retained their belts in not too long, but it was a fun opener. It was this is the crowd warm up kind of spot. some you see on a lot of the main Friday shows. Somebody like El Coyote and Los Gemelos Diablos, like that. That's kind of the spot here where this match is, and I think these two teams served the same purpose and did it just as well. Then following up, hey, Jack, you might want to tap in here for a little bit because we got some Stardom representation over.
I saw that a lot of ladies were over there right now. It's Micah and Kid and who else?
May Sarah is there as well. But so Micah had a singles match on this particular card against Dark Silhouette. Dark Silhouette has been around for quite a while and is sort of a veteran of the CMLL women's division. And Micah is Micah. If you've ever seen Stardom. I was interested because this is the first time that I have seen Micah since her Wonders of Stardom title run way back when.
Really?
In 2023, I think that was.
Yeah.
I've not watched a single bit of her since then. But my understanding is that she has had quite a few sort of like change ups. I know she had changed her like cut her hair and stuff, and like maybe worked a slightly different kind of style, but the way that she was presented here is very much in the same way that she was then, so I don't know if she's like gone back to kind of Micah Prime in Stardom recently, but that's kind of what it came across as here. I thought that this match was okay. I did kind of, in my memories of that Wonder of Stardom reign, always kind of brush up against those matches a little bit. Something about it did not quite like fully click in for me until like maybe the very end of it. But I will say Micah herself comes across a lot more confident than she did then. And so I think that helps her performance here for sure. But ultimately, I think Dark Silhouette was maybe not the best choice of opponent for her. But they put on a perfectly serviceable match. It's just nothing really that I'm going to remember in like next couple of weeks. So but yeah, maybe tap into it if you're a Stardom completionist, but not too much else there for me to comment on. Next up, we had a tag match with La Catalina and Sanelli versus Gara Negra and Kira, a different Kira than the Kira who started the show. La Catalina, several people might know from either her time in WWE, where she was under a mask, and that was very short-lived, very, very early on in her career, or her pretty great run and matches with Stephanie Vaquer before Stephanie left for WWE. Both Chilean, I believe, as well. And this one was, I thought, kind of a pickup in pace. La Catalina is super, super over. She is maybe, like, aside from Persephone right now, maybe the most over CMLL women's wrestler from the little bit that I've seen and tapped into. The people absolutely love her, and her tag partner Sanelli, I've seen a little bit. She was mostly also on those kind of like Arena Coliseo cards and stuff like that. And she's solid. I think also very young and probably still has a little ways to go, but really held up her own here. But yeah, this one was not too bad. Then pretty solidly, like the low point of the card is this next match. It was a triple threat between Princesa Suhit, Marcela, and La Magnifica. Now apparently this had some sort of significance that I am maybe unaware of, because there was, I believe, an older women's wrestler that was at the top of the ramp that kind of greeted them as they came through, and so I believe this match was maybe like a tribute to her. The name of it on Cage Match is the Copa Irma Gonzalez three-way match, so I believe that was probably Miss Irma Gonzalez. I'm unfamiliar with her or her, kind of role in this, but I'm sure it's a bit of history that is worth learning. The match itself, not very great. You can probably skip this one if I'm being entirely honest. If you're going to go back and watch the show. But then, so the last 4 matches on the card are really just back to back to back. I think a really solid run. The first one, Mina Shirakawa coming in from AEW versus Zeuxis, who Zeuxis was the former tag team partner of Stephanie Vaquer, who has since kind of branched off and had some pretty solid solo work recently. And Mina coming in to face her, I thought was interesting. Mina, I think the work that she's been doing in AEW recently has not really showcased her strengths much at all. I think she's maybe relied a bit too heavily on kind of the shtick sort of stuff of that kind of broad American TV wrestling that I can go back and forth on. But here she, I think, reached a little bit deeper into her bag, maybe not in terms of like the variety of moves that she's doing, but in how much tighter and snappier they look. She looked like she was really, kind of trying here, where I think she maybe has been kind of, chilling out a little bit recently on AEW. That being said, I do think this match went maybe a tad too long for both of them, but it was still, I think the work was solid enough. And Mina did beat Zeuxis, which I think I would not have done because, it does kind of reinforce the idea amongst some, especially English-speaking CMLL fans, that, AEW has booking control over CMLL, which they don't. But, I think Mina is low enough on the AEW rankings that having her take a loss to Zeuxis, who is pretty high up in the CMLL rankings, would not have been the worst thing in the world. Then, oh my goodness, this one is a match of the year. I am talking about Olympia versus the Megasis, Megan Bayne.
Oh my god. I didn't know she was there. That's cool.
Big women slapping meat.
Big meaty women slapping meat.
This was so cool. This was so much fun. Olympia, for those who don't know, I think she's maybe had like one AEW appearance. But she is a like straight up like bodybuilder type physique, just muscles on muscles. She's very, just huge shoulders, like massive biceps. Like she looks straight up like from a comic book or something. And she's awesome. I love her stuff that I've seen from her. I think she is maybe related to somebody, but I'm not quite sure who, so I don't want to say and make myself look like an idiot. But I think she has maybe a family connection in Lucha Libre, and has really impressed recently. And of course, Megan Bayne is friend of the show, Megan Bayne. Anybody who's seen her is knows what they're getting in for. And yeah, they just go nuts on each other here. They do a little bit of brawling out on the outside of the ring, and a tiny bit into the front row. that I thought looked pretty rad. So once things wrap up here, though, Megan does pick up the win, and that is an example of an AEW wrestler going over in a partner promotion that I am totally cool with, because it's Megan Bayne. If you have a problem with losing to Megan Bayne, you are the problem. So
also Olympia is the daughter of Valiente.
Valiente, that's right. I thought that was what it was, but I didn't.
Yeah, I looked it up just to make sure. No. We had to prove Cooper right, guys. We proved Cooper right on this podcast.
Thank you. But yeah, definitely check out that match. It is a fun time. Then in your semi-main for the CMLL World Women's Tag Team titles, it was the champions, Las Chicas Indomables, the team of La Jarochita and Uvia, versus the incoming Stardom team of Neo Genesis, May Sarah and Starlight Kid.
They are very good, those two.
They are. They were definitely.
May Sarah is really good.
They outshone La Chicas Indomables far and away. I thought this was basically a Neo Genesis like showcase match. I know from talking with you, Jack, that I think Starlight Kid is very much kind of like in that sort of top range of Stardom talent at the minute.
Yes.
May Sarah, though, is so good.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah.
I think she was really the standout of this match here, at least. But.
Yes. Sarah seems like one of those women who is like kind of on the cusp of getting to the main event. She for the past like year or so, she's been the high-speed champion of Stardom, which is, I don't know, just for the viewers at least, it's kind of their mid-cardy championship that's also like a showcase for the signature style of the company. It's very much, it's pretty direct, never open weight analog, even if there are some differences. And she finally did lose it I think 2 months ago, and it is after a really, really great reign with that belt. I agree with you very much, Cooper. I hope that she kind of becomes one of the big focuses over the next few years. She's just an outstanding young wrestler.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with this one, it kind of goes sort of all over the place, really good strikes, really good, sort of high flying stuff. But yeah, it's kind of everything you want from a semi-main tag match. Las Chicas Indomables do go over, though, which, I get, they're the home team, and you probably don't have any plans for Neo Genesis after this, little drop by. But, I'm not as big on them as I am on the other ones. So, but yeah, definitely a good time. And then the real draw of the show, the reason a lot of people tuned in here, in your main event for the evening, the return after months and months away to a professional wrestling ring of one CEO. Logan, if you can do the sexy dance, please.
Oh yeah. Let me get it on camera.
Oh yeah. Yep. The fingers are coming down. The hands are coming down. The fingers are wiggling.
If you could, if only I wasn't sitting down, you could see me like shake my hips too. We'll get in there.
Yes. Yeah. It is Mercedes Moné making her return to defend the CMLL World Women's Championship against the challenger of Persephone. Now they were seconded here by Persephone's second was Olympia, and Mercedes was Megan Bain, who had obviously faced each other earlier in the night. So that had some fun interactions on the outside. Fellas, Jack,
I'm listening.
Logan.
I swear. Okay.
This is a match of the year.
Okay.
It was a solid, near 20 minutes of just really incredible, scrappy work from both Mercedes and Persephone. By far and away, this is my favorite Persephone match I have seen her in at all. This is the best performance I think she's ever had. The crowd was so behind her, and she really tapped into the power advantage that she has over Mercedes here in a way that I think really benefited her. The final, power bomb into the springboard splash combo to finish the match was really devastating looking and a very convincing ender here. Spoiler alert: Persephone wins, and Mercedes loses yet another one of the several title belts that she accumulated over the course of last year. And the reaction on Mercedes' face afterwards is absolutely priceless. It is, for a moment, quite sad and upset that she lost it and lost the belt. But then there is a twinkle there of her. You can clearly see she is smiling and quite happy for Persephone. It was sort of a bittersweet moment there. Mercedes also, for her part, looks fantastic in her return here. Absolutely just as smooth as always. The Meteoras are really just one after the other in this one. It would be a fun drinking game maybe to take a drink after every Meteora in this match. And she really does scratch and claw her way to try and get something to counteract Persephone's power game. Go out of your way to watch it. It was super, super fun.
For sure. I do have something I forgot to bring up that I want to get your reactions on. As you all know, we're in March, and though we don't talk about that other promotion that often, WrestleMania is around the corner, which means WrestleMania Indie Weekend.
True.
Which is also Jack's wedding weekend, so it'll be very interesting.
It also means my wedding is around
it also
the corner,
means that. It's very interesting because I will be staying with Jack all that weekend, and we'll see how much Triller TV gets put on during the. But Cooper's least favorite thing ever, Bloodsport, announced that Yuji Nagata will be showing up.
It's not my least favorite thing ever. I disagree with Josh Barnett in principle. But,
philosophical differences between the two.
yes. But Yuji Nagata will, in fact, get me to watch his little worked MMA promotion. So.
Yep. House of Glory announced they're having Bandito versus Amazing Red for the first time ever.
Ooh.
Yep. At the March Hitchcock Super Show. Masato Tanaka is taking on what I am now referring to as Mike Awesome Jr., Mark Davis.
That's the one, brother.
And matches that should not exist. The new Hayabusa is wrestling Atticus Cougar for the GCW Championship.
That is not the one.
That is not the one. Also for House of Glory, Cooper's favorite wrestler, Zilla Fatu, is wrestling Brody King.
Don't you put that on me, Logan Hurston. How dare you?
He's wrestling Brody King. Also, Joey Janela will be wrestling Brody Lee Jr. And in an interpromotional AEW and AAA / Noah / probably soon to be WWE match, first time ever, possibly only time ever, Bandito is going to wrestle Galeno Del Mal.
Yeah, I did see that. A little mini Forbidden Door right there.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some other matches that I'm missing from the weekend. But
what's Butterbean up to? They got Butterbean
Butterbean, there's some type of like brawl thing that's coming to Alabama that Noah Dangbus Phillips keeps sending me, and it has Butterbean on the poster. So I don't know.
God.
Maybe me and Noah will be fighting Butterbean.
Is he there? Maybe you and him will be fighting, but oh my god.
So it says, Butterbean presents the roughest and toughest brawl, bad man competition. Are you tough enough? Reward $2,500. Southern National Champions. Meet and greet with the legend Butterbean from 6:30 to 8. Want a minute when him off the street to fight. Rainsville, Alabama, DeKalb County Coliseum on Friday, March 27th through the 28th. 2-night ticket, $50. 3 1-minute rounds of just brawling. No wrestling or kicking. And it has weight classes for bad men and bad women. Purchase tickets or sign up to brawl. So Noah keeps sending me this multiple times, and he says, I have an idea. So you can take for that what you will. Butterbean's getting ready for a Mania weekend by coming to Alabama, brother. So I don't know if you guys saw any other matches. I may have sent another one in the group chat or not, because I've been sending a lot of them. It'll be interesting. I hope to watch some of these matches, but I don't know if I'll watch either. I'm going to watch a ton of wrestling because Jack's family and Jack will have it on in the background, or I'm going to watch zero wrestling, and there is no in between.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it'll play out yet. I'd err on the side of less wrestling, but you never know.
But we have to watch Yo versus Antonio Honda.
We do. Is that one? Is that at
during Mania week? It's the 15th, so it's right around it.
I didn't even see that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we can watch Yo versus Honda.
That's the one match he's gonna allow.
Oh yeah.
You just wait. Your brother's gonna bring a TV to hook up to watch WrestleMania, and then I'm going to hack into that TV. I'm gonna hack into that TV, and I'm gonna put on just classic New Japan matches.
All right. Speaking of the New Japan, are we ready to?
We're ready.
Get into, all right. Okay. We are halfway through the New Japan Cup 2026. We hadn't even started it when the last episode recorded, but now we are. Yes, we are. We just got through the first 2 matches of the second stage of the tournament. Let me go back to the beginning, and we will get on our way with this, the lowdown here. On night 1, we saw Yuya Uemura face Great-O-Khan, with Uemura taking the W. That main event was pretty interesting. It wasn't anything super special, but I think that Okan is at least marginally better as a heel than he is as I don't even want to say babyface. I want to almost say as like a nothing, because he could never really find himself without a strong like heel personality in the early days of UE, and then now he kind of just floundered, didn't know what to do with himself. Just doing sort of, I mean, he's still not my favorite, but doing cheap sort of heel work does fill in the gaps in his game a little bit, I feel like. As for Yuya, obviously, we talked about last week, he came into this tournament as really one of the chief favorites. I think I read they did a big fan poll with the domestic fans, and it was like Uemura, Newman, and Umino were sitting at the top with no one else really in contention for who the fans there thought was going to take it. It was a solid sort of technical showcase for Uemura. Okan really stepped back and did not do a lot of grappling with him because he was more about doing that heel work. Like I said, Umura finally did win with a big high fly flow crossbody from the top rope, which was cool to see. I wonder if he'll be adding that to his repertoire permanently, and ended with a really fiery promo to the crowd, a great send-off. And it seems like the crowd is really behind him. He's getting better at the promos. That's one thing that stuck out to me. He was always kind of a soft-spoken man. He had difficulty with the charisma. But, I mean, he seemed to sort of have it down in this one. I would love to see him win the tournament. And his physique, too, is better now than ever. I noticed that as well. He's kind of bulked up a little bit when he used to be more of a thinner guy. He's definitely pretty toned now, which is something they always like out of their top guys. That was technically the main event for night one, but I wanted to talk about that one first because we're going to have a lot more to say about what happened in the very first match of the New Japan Cup 2026. It was Aaron Wolf versus Don Fale in the first round. Wolf did not win this match. He actually lost, and Don Fale advanced. And yeah, what do we want to? Do y'all want to talk about this? Do we want to just shit on him for a little while?
There's no shame in losing to a former Intercontinental Champion, brother.
Former New Japan Cup finalist too.
No, this was the. It's funny. This was the one match I did have pulled up the other night when I was about to watch New Japan, but ran out of time. I was like, I'm gonna start with this one. So I gotta see. I gotta see Aaron Wolf walk down and immediately get jumped by House of Torture. I said, that's enough.
Yeah. No, it wasn't very good. It was a bad way to start the tournament. And when you think New Japan is up, they will of course do something to remind you that they'll always be down.
I was about to ask and break my silence finally to ask you, Jack, if we were still back. Or if we can finally put that joke to rest.
I don't feel bad, Cooper. I feel
okay. Good.
I feel
well,
bad.
It's funny.
Yeah. You should. This is a disgrace.
It's funny. This isn't even like the worst act. This isn't even the worst act of terrorism they did that week.
Are you talking about what?
No, I'm talking about giving Chase Owens and Shota Umino a 20-minute match.
Oh my God! No, you're right. We'll get to
shit!
it.
I didn't hear about that at all either.
This one, yes. Say what you will about this one. At very least, it was short, and it was really just Wolf not being able to fight the Horde. Every single guy of the HOT came out in this match, and Wolf sort of took him down with a big lariat, every single one. And then when he took them all out, Fale was able to kind of hit him with a flash grenade and pin him. And that was it. I mean, I assume what I've said before. I think they are hiding Wolf and being kind of lame and pussyfooting around it. They don't want to expose him, and so they are just scarily putting him in these bullshit, goofy House of Torture matches for as long as they can. Yeah.
The clip that you sent us this morning, which notably...
we will get to that later. Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
no, I will have a lot more to say about Wolfie later on when we get to the more recent stuff. I'm just trying to go through real quick what little I remember from the earlier days. Donald, he picked up the one with the grenade and advanced to the second round. I think they're probably going to run back this match at Sakura Genesis, I guess, and just give Wolf his win back. It feels worthless and lame, and they should under no circumstances be having Fale get any sort of a fucking win in any tournament in 2026. But it happened. We talked about it. We can move on. What happened next on March 5th in Korakuen was Rin Narita versus Taichi in the main event, with Narita picking up the win after another match I didn't really love, though it was better than the Fale one. Rin has really been disappointing me lately, and this was a bunch of like Taichi was trying to overcompensate with the silly weapon stuff by doing some like emotional Kanemaru lore for the finish, which is so 2020, so
okay,
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it didn't land. But you know what?
Those two dudes didn't even like interact in Suzuki-gun ever. Like,
I know.
Nice.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's just there had to be something.
Taichi was busy having techers with Zack.
What was actually a good match, one of the standout matches of the tournament so far, was surprisingly the Oleg versus El Phantasmo match on this night. And I know we just spent a whole like it felt like a solid 45 minutes last week talking about ELP being bad, and he really is still bad. But all he did in this match was kind of get his butt kicked by Boleg, and I really do like Oleg's offense. And El Phantasmo, for his credit, sold an early leg injury pretty well throughout the match, and he is normally not the best at that, so I commend the man for it. Oleg won with a big old avalanche kamikaze to finish him off, and it was great. And I'm pulling for Oleg hard. He's one of, I would love to see him win, though I'm not sure if that will be the case. Now we could talk about the more serious shit that has happened. Now that we've got those first two sort of uneventful out of the way, we had the anniversary event, the New Japan 54th anniversary on Friday, March 6th, in the Ota General Gymnasium. Before we talk about the big four singles matches, I want to talk. So actually, let's go ahead, because this is important to what we'll talk about later with KOB and Wolf. So here's what's happened with Wolfie since that match. We can just get this out of the way. He was part of the 5-on-5 tag match at the anniversary event. It was Aaron Wolf, Shota Umino, Satoshi Kojima, Tatsumi Fujinami, and Leona Fujinami versus Dick Togo, Sho, Yujiro, Chase Owens, and Rin Narita. For anyone who's wondering, we're not going to talk
Did
much
Leona
about
look
it.
strong? Did they make Leona look strong?
Leona took the pin to Yujiro Takahashi in this match. It was pretty fantastic. They used Leona.
They said your son is not getting a job here, Tatsumi. Stop it.
They used him to build Yujiro up for the Shota Umino match. He won with the fucking
hilarious.
He didn't even win with the Impaler. He won with like the Wizard of Oz DDT with the whatever.
The pimp juice. He won with
the pimp juice, bro. Oh my god. Yes. It was great. What I want to mention here is that Wolf was kind of being very silly in the match. He was goofing around and having fun with Tatsumi Fujinami. He was doing I don't know what this is called, Cooper. What is the he keeps saying the like Fujinami entrance, the ring in, and I don't know if I missed something. What are they talking about?
Oh, what his like little like his robe, like the like dragon robe thing?
I don't know. I must have missed something. He came out with something Fujinami-esque. Something is like a little tribute. Or I think, you know what oh no, I know what it was. Sorry, it took me a second. He did Fujinami's like hot tag in the match.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And apparently that's like a famous thing for Fujinami, which I don't know. There are a lot of things sort of get lost in translation, even when you watch a lot of Japanese pro wrestling. Either way, later on, 2 nights later, Wolf ended up having a match, the one non-House of Torture match he's had so far in his New Japan career. He couldn't have gone further from it. He had a really great tag match where it was him and either Matsumoto or Yasuda, I can't remember, versus the Knockout Brothers in the opening match of the show. It was really, really good. Like, really good. Of course it was, because it's the Knockout Brothers. But Wolf, showed so much fire, so much like excitement and great sequences, great strike exchanges, and it did, like Cooper said, it challenged what I've been saying this whole time about maybe they're afraid of putting him in with better guys. Because he seemed like he really had a good grasp of, it maybe not, maybe he can't do a million moves, and maybe he can't like be the sort of leader in a match, but he's got the facial expressions down, and he can hit hard and he can take hits. And as a starter in New Japan, that's all you really need. And Oscar, after the match, even called it out to the promo. I do want to say here, Oscar is become not just I've sung his praises as a singles guy, and as a tag guy. But he's also become a really fun, like, rambly Zack Sabre Jr.-esque promo backstage. And he's really fun to watch. And he cut a great one on Wolf here, if you want to go back and watch. He said, basically, like, what the fuck are you doing being so happy and, like, cheerful after losing all these matches to House of Torture? You should be going out and taking it seriously. We don't want anyone, here in New Japan who's not taking it as seriously as us. If you want to be silly and joke around, you can go wrestle in DDT. And
I think he said to fucking DDT.
Yeah, he said go to fucking DDT. And no, it was great. And it's gotten a lot of people riled up on Japanese wrestling Twitter. Because those Japanese fans are so protective over, like, their fucking home companies. And Aaron's like,
they're Glupshino ass DDT.
Yes.
You know what's funny?
DDT
So I sent you a tweet about that.
This.
That was the exact same thing. And the response was, Shinshiro Takagi responds to this by saying he would welcome Aaron Wolf into DDT. Takagi also has permission from Fujinami to do the Dragon Ring and entrance so he can teach Wolf the secrets of the action. DDT's like, hell yeah, come to DDT, bro. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, please.
We can sell some tickets, Doc.
I would love to see this become something with a bigger feud for the brothers and Wolf, but can we all be honest with ourselves and know deep down that will not be happening?
Oh yeah, this is a one-off. This is I hope you liked it.
Well, who would even be his partner?
Right.
No. Oleg, dude. Imagine that. Imagine a Miracle Violence or like Steiner
Why would you
Bros,
show me something if I can't have
Oleg
it?
and Wolf.
Dude.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Go ahead. Keep talking about how
the rest
the
of the
awful main
anniversary
event of the
show,
anniversary show. Go ahead and get into it.
Oh my god, I want to get into it. I just want to run through so many of the things that annoyed me about New Japan this week. That's why I'm sort of breezing through it, because it wasn't a great week. Here was something
Shut up,
pretty
bro.
fun. We got a Jake Lee versus Yoshihashi.
God. Like, I'm not number one Yoshihashi hater like most people, but like, I saw that and I'm like, no.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm gonna be.
Was this the Galaxy Gas match?
No, that happened. That happened in a preview tag the next night. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm still 100% behind this guy. I do not care what people are saying. It's like actual. It's amazing. It's performance art. It's postmodern.
We're gonna look back in 20 years and be like, "Oh my God, how good was Jake Lee?" None of us got it. Our kids are gonna love it, guys. Our kids are gonna love it.
That's what it's gonna be. Because
yes.
I used to think during that one G1 run, we've said this before about Jake Lee, that is like, hey, he's got a cool moveset, he's very charismatic, but he does not know what to do in the like quiet moments of a match. That's always been true of him, and it is still true of him. But with the new character, with this stupid like clown character that he's playing, I see the vision for the first time ever. It's like he's pranking everybody. He's pulling it. He's joking like with the crowd. We are the joke. We're the joke when Jake Lee wrestles. He's playing.
Jack.
He's the sane one, and we're all crazy.
Jack.
Yes.
Your
Genius.
Your own personal love of shit posting is getting in the way of your clarity here.
Because Chris Charlton was on the commentary the whole match, and he was saying, he's like, I just don't think the crowd knows how to react to what he's doing.
Yeah, dude.
He was just laughing the whole time. He brought out the monkey, the punch, the monkeys, like stuffed monkey.
Okay, that is
and he
very
brought
funny,
it out to
actually.
watch his match.
That is good.
And then he left, and he had the monkey clapping, and yeah, it was like just the whole match. The first like 5 minutes was Yoshihashi. I swear to God, they did like 5 minutes of him just rolling out of the ring, and then when Yoshihashi went outside the ring, he'd go back in.
Jack would love Orange
He was just
Cassidy.
giggling about it the whole time.
Okay, he's on the right side of history. I can get
my
behind
God.
Jake Lee now.
I do like OC. I've always liked OC.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. Okay, and then yeah, the next he beat Yoshihashi with the guillotine, and then the next night, or the next tournament night, he debuted a new devastating move where he opened up his opponent's mouth and he shot helium gas down their throat to make their voice all squeaky.
I'm hearing what you're saying, Jack, and and I understand
Performance
it, but
art,
also
he said.
No one's
you're just
Performance art.
describing a
anymore.
DDT wrestler, bro. Like I think he is like DDT. How is it different?
It's different, bro. It's different. It's this is some real intellectual shit happening on a level you just can't understand.
You wouldn't understand it in the cerulean blue, Logan. That's the difference.
The injury, he got back from a vacation in hell, Logan. A vacation in hell. Oh.
I bet the way that Jake Lee draws the Hamburger Helper logo is real fucked up. It's real. just a look into his demented mind.
Oh, Jesus Christ. In 2 days, he's got Hiroki Goto, and I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be something really special.
Say that. Wait. No. Jack, say that sentence again, but this time don't laugh.
Okay. I think next he's got a match coming up against Hiroki Goto on fuck me. I can't. It's
He's
spirit.
Jester Maxing.
I feel the Jester
Dude, Jake Lee was
spirit
Jester Maxing
flowing
before it was
within me. The Tokon Jester spirit. Dude, I swear to God, I've been excited about this sort of return for 2 years, and I can't imagine it having gone down any better.
I feel like Jack is just built.
It's real. It's
Lynchian.
true surreal.
Alright,
It's
you're about to make me
Lynchian pro
blow a
wrestling.
gasket, bro. Like, I cannot believe. What Twin Peaks character is Jake Lee? That's the question. He's either Jacoby or
He's
he's
gotta be like,
what's his name? Ben.
Jacoby or something.
It doesn't matter. I think my head.
He's
My
he's
theory
like
is Jack just
post.
built
He's season
up
2
the
Leland.
smart
He's
bastard's head so
definitely
much
season 2 Leland.
that now he can't say he's bad, so he's just gotten to the point where he has to like everything he does.
No, dude. I didn't know what I really needed was the silent
God.
jester this whole time. Oh god. In the seventh match, we have Oscar versus Callum Newman, and this one was pretty good.
Was
Oscar,
it Lynchian?
it was not Lynchian, and it was.
All right,
Fuck.
wrap it
This
up.
one was this was Newmanism. This match.
Oh, great.
Newmanism. Yeah. No, seriously, I did like this match, and you guys would like it too, because it's mostly just Oscar kind of beating the shit out of him for the whole match.
Oh, that's good.
Until the end.
Yeah.
And Callum kind of win. It's exciting, and like I said before, Oscar is a good giant, so it's cool. And Newman takes some pretty sick bumps for him too, and it kind of ends with Zane J kind of doing some bullshit interference for Newman to get the win. And I mean, it wasn't anything great, but it was a fun first round match, and it kind of made me realize something, and we can talk about it too, because later on, Yuto Ice will defeat Ryohei Oiwa or he will lose to Ryohei Oiwa in the tournament after kind of being really in the driver's seat the whole time, and then losing to what was a leverage pin, the new Roy Clutch sort of shock leverage pin. And it made me think, like, holy shit, they, really are being ridiculously protective over the brothers in a way that they aren't with a lot of talent. It's even extending now beyond tag matches and going into them, like, being the strongest dudes on the roster in the singles matches too. I mean, to get not bullshit wins, but definitely not legitimate wins over either of the guys. I just thought it was cool to see how seriously they are taken. One thing that I do not take seriously is Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori.
Your new champs. You got to. You have to respect
and Robbie
them now,
Eagles. You guess. No, actually, this was a pretty good junior tag match. I do think Robbie X is funny. One of my buddies after this match said that he can never focus on Robbie X during a match because he reminds him he's built like that 90s.
Is that
dancing
Lynchian?
CGI
Is Robbie
baby.
X Lynchian?
Oh
y'all
my
know-
god, he is. He is. That's so right.
That's
That is pretty close.
Oh god. I think we're gonna remember that one for a while. Yeah, this was a good junior heavyweight tag sprint. And after the match, after Robbie X and Ishimori did pick up the win and take the junior tag titles, Francesco Akira and Jacob Austin Young took out the champions and declared their desire to challenge with them doing the neck break chair spot on Robbie X that they tried to do on Hiromu that X came out and saved him from back at the New Beginning. And it made me think, like, we can rag on Jake and Newman. I mean, I would never do it, but some people on the show would dare to. But even with that said, I think we can all agree that United Empire as a whole are at least somewhat exciting right now. And I say that to say that it's annoying to have a pretty good and fresh and exciting and threatening in some ways heel group at the top of New Japan, and then see House of Torture floundering after Evil's departure so quickly and being frustrating and losing kind of everything that made them special and fun. It doesn't feel like Narita has those comedic chops that Evil had, so it kind of is all the stuff that people used to say about them. Yeah.
I will say, even as an avowed hater of all things British, Callum Newman most definitely included. I will take a million, like middling to pretty okay United Empire matches, as opposed to the current a million actively like awful House of Torture matches that are being subjected onto New Japan cards.
Yeah, and it's weird because New Japan like has historically only liked to really focus on, you know, one full out heel group at a time. And it feels like kind of that House of Torture is just not going to ever grow as long as UE stays the new like heels on the block. And I don't know, they need to do something about it. They need to disband or something, because it's not sustainable and it is harming everyone in there. Speaking of, in the main event we had Master Wato versus Doki for the Junior Heavyweight Championship, and I will tell y'all, I woke up on the day of the anniversary show. I saw Cooper Prater say in the group chat that Master made a joke about Wato never ever winning the Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I realized, I read between the lines, I realized what I was about to see. I got through this entire show and I was about to turn it on. I really was about to turn it on and watch this. And then I realized, wait, I don't have to do this. No one is forcing me to do it.
You have free will, Jack.
I realized that I could just simply not watch this match that I knew was going to piss me off more than anything else that happened to me that day. And so
You've broken the cycle.
I did not watch this match. It was so freeing. I could not. It felt like, you know, I walked outside and I saw the birds chirping and I felt the grass under my feet and I was like, wow, I don't have to watch the House of Torture anymore. I don't have to watch 2026 House.
No, I heard that the Master didn't win, and I said, well, what is the point? I'm not watching this.
That's true. And the only good thing that happened in this match, as far as I can tell, is that after the match, Yo came out and challenged, and then he did the evil camera pose, and they did like the shaky thing, and I thought that was pretty fun.
How dare you stand where he stood?
I know.
How dare you?
For real.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's bad.
Pretty funny.
I can't. I mean, I've said it before, guys. What has happened? Like, I genuinely believe this. I've thought a lot about it over the past week. What's happening to Wato is terrible. It is ridiculous that the man, after almost 3 years now, after winning Best of the Super Juniors, has not won the Junior Heavyweight Championship yet. You know, it has been 3 years after his big star-making performance at that same Wrestle Kingdom that Omega Ospreay and Wyatt Okada were at. So, I mean, he's well past his due at this point. But what makes me more angry, and will continue to probably make me angry forever, is that I think what New Japan did to Doki is genuinely one of the most unforgivable, like, booking decisions they've made. It kind of goes under the radar because he was coming back from that big injury. But it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
That they took one of the hottest wrestlers they had in all of 2024, which, you know, unlike 2026.
Hottest and just best. Like, yes. He was genuinely so good.
He was one of the best wrestlers in Japan in 2024. And, I mean, there have been some dicey decisions in 2026 so far, but 2024 was, like, absolute, like, hell year for New Japan. and he was one of the only bright spots for that entire period. So to bring him back and make him into this, the like top junior of House of Torture, and then to have that be when they decide to strap this sort of rocket to him as the like ultra dominant top guy of the division, it's like a serious monkey's paw situation. It's crazy, and I don't know how or why they would have thought to do this. It just doesn't make any sense. A lot of the time, you can kind of see their reasoning for shitty booking decisions, but I've never been able to understand why they would make Doki into just Show 2. They already had Show. He was just recently champion.
Yeah, the Show being there is like has become the most hanger-on wrestler that has maybe ever existed. But like, look, the entirety of the house's booking is short-term gratification. It's, oh shit, so this person joined the house. Oh shit, they rang the bell, but the match is still going. Oh, here's Dick Togo with the garrote wire. Like, it's just these little moments that are meant to make your brain go, oh, something's happening, but then they repeat it as ad nauseum to where it doesn't mean anything anymore. And yeah, Doki is by far the person that I think, aside from, I don't know, maybe Narita might fare worse in the long term, because that is a guy who they were clearly like saw enough in to like brand as like part of the Three Musketeers, right? Yeah. And there's no chance in hell that guy is ever going to hold the top belt after this is all said and done. Yeah. But like also people weren't like crazy about Narita before he joined anyways. But people did love Doki, and I think I would be very surprised if he finds a way to turn perception of him around after the house is gone. Right, I think the stench is going to follow him for maybe a while.
Yeah, it's
for sure
really sad, because before they finally got behind newer, younger guys recently, like before they sort of finally stuck to Tsuji as the new top guy, and they stumbled upon the Knockout Brothers as two hot young stars too. The one big success story they kind of could point to over the last 2 years was they got Doki really over and legitimized, and it's just like, yeah, it sucks, and there's nothing else you can say about it. It just really sucks. And the junior, like, I'm still even joking about the Aaron Wolf stuff and joking about guys like Jake Lee. I think the heavyweight division is still in a great position to sort of be really good and memorable in 2026. I still think they have a lot of upward momentum, but the junior division is it's terrible. It's really terrible right now.
Yeah.
And the way they're booking it, the way they're doing this weird shit where like the important matches don't even happen on the important shows. It makes them feel unimportant too. You'd want it to be that the junior heavyweight championship is legitimate enough to where it can raise the status of those shows, but that only works if you have a long string of the junior heavyweight division being like really popular and renowned and legitimate, and then you move to that. But that's not what's happened. They sort of switched to doing that during its lowest period, and then it got lower. And you'd want to believe like with Doki at the top, I don't know what the end game is. I don't think it's that exciting for like it was most exciting for Watto to beat him because of their kind of funny history with them feuding right at the beginning of Watto's return from excursion. And they've kind of been thorns in each other's side since. But I don't feel any sort of connection to Fujita beating Doki for the title as much as I would him beating really anyone else. And I don't want it to be Despe again because that's been done to death at this point. And it can't be a guy like Akira because they're not going to pit heel versus heel. And I don't think it's going to be Yo. So yeah, it's just.
I think you mean Evil. Did you not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the new Evil.
You didn't mention also he wore an Evil shirt and hit Everything is Evil on Kian's show.
Oh,
and,
no, you're right. It was
and
more
when
than
he
just
did
a
the pose,
yeah.
he got the confetti come from the ceiling.
Yo is kind of grown on me. I like him since the One Man Chaos stuff started. But I don't think I don't think he's gonna be the one to take it. So I have no idea what's happening here, and I can't say that I'm excited to find out the answer. We already talked about Yuto Ice versus Ryohei Oya. That was really probably the highlight of the tournament so far, except for no, that was probably the highlight of the tournament so far. It was a very good match. You know, those two are great rivals, and it was just a good, heated strike exchange for a lot of the match. They bring a lot of what New Japan's missing is really good, like well built feuds, and these are two guys that have that, and so I enjoyed watching it. The other match that happened on that night was the aforementioned 20-minute Chase Owens versus Shota match, which I am not going to really talk about. It was bad, and I'm sure you all know that, and everyone listening knows that, so I don't see any reason why we have to talk about it longer than that.
I can't believe that we're just gonna skip over the Lone Star Outlaw minutes.
I'm really going to skip right over it. I have nothing to say. And then
Well, I mean,
y'all want to talk about it?
well, don't worry, I'm not gonna
trying to get past
we at least
it.
we want to talk about it. We at least have we had to get through that. We at least get the biggest baby face in the world is gonna beat Shota next round. We could say that.
I was gonna wait until I finished talking about the previous matches, but there's some fun storylines going into these next few matches.
Okay.
Shingo Takagi versus Don Fale. Sadly, Takagi was able to eliminate Donald in his second round match, and he didn't even get Donald Fale. He didn't even let him get up for the
his government name.
He didn't even do the Last of the Dragon on him. He just won with the clothesline. Fale was not going down for that.
Pumping bomber.
Yeah, for real. Yuya Uemura versus Drilla was the main event of that show, and that was a pretty good one too. It wasn't my favorite. Some people were higher on it than I was, but it had a really good finish. I don't know if y'all have seen or heard about this, but Yuya is really good at stuff like this. Like he's really good at finding unique ways to make you doubt that his little ass is gonna win. So Drilla straight up did finally hit Drilla Killa at the end of this match, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna win, because no one kicks out of that shit. And then he pulled him sort of for a leverage pin, and then he put so much momentum into it. He was so excited that Yuya was just barely able to flip him all the way over and get the pin on him instead, and then just passed out sort of right in the middle of the ring. He didn't not sell the Drilla Killa, but he was able to sort of outsmart the big dumb meathead that is Dan Maloney. And that was very cool. I really like Yuya. I think he's got a lot of those little touches down. And He's. I'd love to see him win. I really hope kind of that he does at this point. He's a great tournament wrestler. He's easy to get behind in situations like this where it's just like I want to see a cool babyface winning matches rather than it needing to be anything more complicated than that. So upcoming with the Cup, tomorrow we've got a match I'm actually very excited for. Well, first we've got Ren Narita versus Satoshi Kojima, which I'm not very excited for, and it's disappointing already because that was supposed to be Ishii. I don't expect much from it, but I'm sure Narita will just sort of advance, and that'll be that. But in the main event, we've got Oleg versus Hinare, and I'm really excited about this one. They've both built it up very well. Hinare, I talked about this before. We mess around with him because he's a fucking weird dude IRL for sure.
He's the chuddiest chud that ever chudded.
Yeah, no doubt. But he's always kind of, even from his mustache and bald spot days, he's kind of one of my boys. I like his whole deal, and I think him and Oleg will go well together. I could even see this being a bit of an
he does
upset.
just get a little stupid with it, both in the ring and out of it. So
No doubt, but he is at least exciting, and I like
Yes.
the energy he brings to his matches. And these two, Bolton's gotten a lot better with doing the whole big man never style, so I like that. And then after that, we've got excuse me. After that, on Friday, we've got Hiroki Goto versus Jake Lee, like I said, set up, and Cal Newman versus Hartley Jackson, which should be another cool match where Newman can just sort of bump around for a big guy before winning in some sort of way. And then we've got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ryohei Oiwa, which is very cool. And I look forward to see that one, definitely. That might be really a standout match of the tournament, to see this sort of mentor versus mentee relationship. And then in another surprising mentor versus mentee relationship, we've got the Shota Umino versus Yujiro Takahashi second round, where Shota has been building up this match over the past few days by talking about how back when he was a little kid, Yujiro, pre-heel turn, used to come over to Red Shoes' house and play catch with young Shota Umino. And this
wow.
lore, he's been building on they've made like a whole storyline out of this, and like all the backstage comments with Shota saying that he's going to try, Logan, I shit you not, try and redeem Yujiro Takahashi and bring him into Hontai with this match. I don't know if you should expect it. I don't know if anything will come of this, but Logan, I just felt like I should let you know that babyface Yujiro might be on the horizon for 2026.
If it has to be in Hontai, I don't want it.
He doesn't want the show.
My Chud loser 26 member faction.
Oh my god.
Shota Umino tag team. Maybe this team will help me finally defeat the Knockout Brothers. Come on,
He
man.
keeps calling him Uncle Yujiro. I thought it was sweet.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Come on.
I thought they seem nice. And then
He's a pimp, Jack. He is a pimp. He is not Uncle Yujiro.
Look, look.
Shota Umino knows nothing about struggle.
He used to play
If all of our uncles were, involved in bad activities, that's.
Well, let me tell you,
in the,
if he's his uncle, he about to get his butt whooped today. He gonna learn. He gonna learn.
oh my god.
And it comes with a pimp juice. And it comes with an impaler.
Oh my god.
1, 2, 3. Don Fale steps over the top of Shota Umino, and we call it a day.
Oh,
Dick-to-dick contact, all that jazz.
Get Peter
did
back
say-
in there. She's dancing on his corpse.
Yeah, get Peter back. You should bring Peter back for this match. Bro, I think if Shota saw Peter walk to the ring, he might start bawling tears.
Oh fuck.
He would know what to do with all that. He would be so...
He's like, oh my god. He's like in the the gif of Smithers in The Simpsons with like he's
Yes,
crying.
yes.
That's Shota.
Yes.
That's Shota when Peter pulls out.
Let's just say,
Yujiro said
Topia
in
topic
his-
of... Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Yujiro said in this final promo, sort of before the match, he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like, "Shota, I've not even thought about that in 20 years." So it might be a whole bunch of nothing, but I always think it's funny when Shota brings in his Nepo baby lore into these matches. That should be it for New Japan this week. The only other thing that was a little interesting is that the Alpha is actually coming to work on March 21st. He's going to be at the New Japan Cup final show. It was announced last night. He will most likely, he's definitely going to be at the New Japan Cup final and then be at some DDT show in Cork in the next night. So he's doing a little mini Japan tour. I'm sure they will be setting up some TV championship match at Sakura Genesis or some other time soon at the Cup. That's all for me today. I will listen intently for the 16 karat gold and the AEW talk that we're about to get into.
Welcome to West Side Extreme Wrestling, the one time a year. This might be a recurring thing. I have a trailer right now, and I really enjoyed this whole weekend. West Side Extreme Wrestling, if you don't know, is Germany's premier wrestling promotion. They've been around since the 2000s, at least, if not longer. This is the 20th anniversary of the 16 karat gold tournament, which is their kind of King of the Ring, Owen, New Japan Cup. Every major promotion will have some sort of single elimination tournament, and this is theirs. It has formerly been won by the likes of Walter, Ilya Dragunov, Awesome Mandy, the one called Manders,
Chris Hero.
Yep.
Yes, one called Manders.
Yes.
I think Brian Danielson won at some point.
And this year, it featured a bunch of participants, some from their own home promotion, and as always, they always get people from the outside. Biggest name being one free agent, member of Los Tranquilos de Japón, Mr. Tetsuya Naito.
This is the 16 karat gold. It's single elimination,
correct?
Right? Not league style.
Yeah, single elimination.
Okay.
So it's over one weekend, single elimination tournament. They actually had like 4 shows though the weekend, because they had the 3 nights for 16 karat gold. They also had an Ambition show, which is their version of is similar to Bloodsport, except basically it's all chain wrestling. So it's like knockout or submission, no pins. But the thing is, like, if you hit someone with the move and you hesitate, you have to let them get back up. You cannot. You basically have to hit move after move after move. And your boy Jack, New Japan Young Lion, who just went to WXW, Katsuya Murashima wrestled a match, and he squashed the guy in 1 minute 48 seconds. It was pretty beast.
Hell yeah! I was thought he was wearing a beastly, like, red Andre style singlet with the.
He was for his first match, which he did lose before this tournament. But this one, he was wearing just red undies, and just absolutely destroyed some poor German man, and beat him with the Boston Crab, of course. Yes, of course he did.
No? Yeah.
But this is the first time I've watched 16 karat gold in many a year, since like probably the heyday of it, where they had, Ilya, Walter, still had I forget what Kaiser's name was when he was in WXW. Yeah,
Axel Dieter Jr.
Yep. Awesome Andy, a lot of those wrestlers, and they had a lot of cool guys from the Progress type scene. My house is flickering lights right now, but I did not watch every single match of this whole tournament because I was like, there's not enough time for that. It was over 3 days. I was working on the weekend, so I skimmed through all 3 days to the matches I wanted to watch. And if a match is really good, I planned on going back and watching some other performances in the past. You watched all of Night 1, though, right, Cooper?
I did watch all of Night 1, and that is it. I didn't watch anything from the preceding 2
Well, I have to
nights.
ask, was it better than the Super J Cup? The
brother.
not the Super J Cup. The
Brother.
whatever, yeah, Jersey K Cup.
So
Jersey
much
K
better.
Cup, yeah.
The Jersey J Cup? Yes. I knew what you meant. Yeah, this one had 100% less Jordan Oliver versus Alec Price on it, so it was 100%
Well,
better.
the first match was Peter Tehani, which I'm not familiar with before this tournament, but the crowd hated this dude. And friend of the show, Arez, who might also be known as one El Clone in AEW. Cooper, what did you think of this match? Hello?
Oh, okay. Logan, you were kind of glitching out for a second. So I think there might be a slight connection breakage here. But I could hold on a second. Actually, Logan, as soon as you hear the word talk, talk for a little bit.
Okay. So what I was saying anyway is Arez, also known as El Clone.
Okay. So it's like I think about like a maybe like 2
I'm
second
going to
delay,
leave the call and come back. Sorry for technical difficulties, guys. We're going to see if we can fix this real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Back. Can you hear me? Cool.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, just probably had we had like a glitch in the house. I think the power flickered for a second, so probably ran out of the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But I was saying.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Yes, the Arez Tahani match, the first one, is that okay? Yeah, I did watch this. It was very fun. By the way, spoiler alert: no matches of the year on night one of 16 Carat.
That's fair.
For me, at least. Your mileage may vary on some of them. This match, it was fun, as an Arez / El Clone match is almost guaranteed to be. It was fun seeing him back as Arez with the full get-up and everything.
Yes.
Peter Tahani, I think is his name. Yes. Yeah. Never seen anything from him before. He is very much a WXW like homegrown dude. He was pretty solid though. The crowd obviously knew of him and was into his spots and everything. I thought he showed a pretty good kind of sense of understanding of how to work a match with somebody like Arez, which a lot of people might not. And I don't know how old he is. He seems pretty young though. So good on him for having good instincts. Pretty young, I guess. But yeah, they I think were working pretty well together for what I imagine is the first time.
Yeah, Tahani's been definitely a WXW guy for a while. He's the one who beat. He's a former world champion, and he beat Manders for the title. And I assume lost it to the guy who's a champion right now. Is named Elijah Bloom. The next night they had a match between him and Manders. But yeah, you're going to be hearing his name a little bit more, Cooper. Let's just say that. This was one of the 4 matches I watched from night one, mainly because I was like, Arez! I stuck with people I knew and cage match, and like the next match had Bushi in it, and I'm like,
sure,
I'm not watching that.
Hey, I'll tell you what though, it was not bad.
I know that
it was a pretty good little Bushi match.
Supposed to be pretty good, so.
I've always
he
liked
was.
Bushi.
Yes, this is a Bushi apologist fan club here.
Oh yeah,
that we're in. But Zoltan was pretty good. I think that he has like sort of maybe some of the same issues that I see in a lot of European kind of young wrestlers. I don't know. The closest comparison I can think of is like that was Zozoya guy in Progress, and like Ig LeBlanc too, the French dude that's in NXT now. Like these kind of like newer European kind of quicker high flyer guys. I don't know, something about that. I feel like they are. I don't want to say like, not pacing their workout, because that makes me sound like, I don't know, Jim Cornette or something. But I do think they could maybe like take more time to like breathe and sort of like, connect with the crowd before they just go and hit their shit. That being said, though, I think Zoltan is slightly better than those other examples in terms of that particular thing with crowd connection. I think I feel like he had to kind of like remind himself to do it sometimes, but I feel like he's got a bit more of a kind of sense of conducting than those guys did. And Bushi is real solid. They do a lot of actually pretty cool sort of like groundwork for a bit of this.
I will say, the most interested, even though I didn't watch this match, most interested I've been in Bushi since he's left New Japan, because when he was on New Japan, I was like, it's Bushi. No offense to the guy, but he was always never treated that well out of his original run. So he's just one of those perennial tag guys, which it is funny. But now he's not just only tag guy. So I feel like he gets a lot more shine. He has to be somewhat good if Sonata's following him everywhere.
Yeah. Well, he's I think just is a good hang for those guys more than anything. I think he's a good good for a night out maybe.
We then moved on to what I thought was the second best match of the night, Thomas Shire versus Chihiro Hashimoto. And two things.
Ooh, interesting. I thought this was match of the night.
I really liked one that came up later. I
think I know which one you like.
Yeah. Surprisingly, and I really did like this one too. I was like, this match, you don't realize how small Chihiro is because she's wrestling all the Joshis where she's like pretty big. Mm-hmm. But like Shire towered over, and later on there's another match she's in there where I'm like, oh my gosh, she's tiny. And it just never dawned on me until this morning, like how tiny she is compared to like Shire. I mean, I have to look up like the height difference, but like it is staggering when you watch this match. Wouldn't you say, Cooper?
Oh yeah, they really emphasize it on commentary, especially. But man, like at a certain point, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. It wasn't like it was because again, like Hosh is a powerhouse. And she's still working like a powerhouse. To the point, at one point, I think she like peels Shire off of his feet, and I wish the camera caught it better, but it looked crazy. And the suplex and stuff like that. But no, this was like I don't think in a million years I would ever thought of this match, but I'm very happy we got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Shire, I think, is a really good prospect coming up. He's tagged with Manders a bunch, and is a very, they say it on commentary, very throwbacky kind of character. And he's at the stage right now where like his limbs are just slightly too long for him.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of an interesting spot to be in as a wrestler, particularly like a big brawly wrestler like he is. It makes his strikes look really just horrible, like horrible in a good sense. But like it's fun when you get him in with like Chihiro, who wants to grapple him and like really wrestle him down, and he looks kind of like a scared baby deer a little bit.
They said it on commentary, and I have to agree, or it may not have been this match, it may have been another one, where they said Shire is very reminiscent of obviously throwback, but like a David Von Erich because of his stature and like almost awkwardness at times, which you don't really see in a lot of wrestlers. You know, you could see him like sometimes tall and like you don't really see like he's got mass on him. You know, like he's a very different look. It's something that like I think he will, and he got far in this tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's holding, especially since he's brought in by Manders. Manders already held the world title, and it's obviously a big deal over there. It wouldn't surprise me if he eventually becomes world champion of Germany.
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving on, or unless you have anything else to say about this match, Cooper.
Not really. I think it's great. Yeah, you should watch it if you haven't. Not quite match of the year, but absolutely a fun one.
Eric Stevens versus Bobby Guns.
Yes. I'm of two minds here, Logan. I'm gonna be honest with you. On one hand, I love Eric Stevens. This has been made clear throughout this podcast. But on the other hand, this is the first Bobby Guns match I've ever seen. I think he is the most viscerally disgusting looking wrestler I've maybe ever seen.
He's bald. He wasn't
good.
bald before. And he comes to the ring just chain smoking,
yes.
basically. He smokes a cigarette to the ring all the way. There was a match we'll get into later where him and Stevens teamed against Bloom, who's the world champion, and Minoru Suzuki, and he did get Suzuki to smoke a cigarette in the middle of the match. So...
I did see the picture of the smoking Suzuki, which was...
I thought it was really good. I thought it was pretty solid stuff. I mean, not like a match of the year or anything like that for me. This is the one.
It was good. It was. I was just having to fight my own, gag reflex every time I saw Bobby Guns make a face.
He can't be worse than Alec Price.
No. Miles ahead of Alec Price. But he's good at his job.
Yes.
I'll say that. He's very good at his job.
He's been there forever too. He's a guy that's just like staple of that. I remember back in the day.
He's a lifer.
And then I definitely skipped this match. I saw Alan Angels and I said absolutely not. Cooper, known hater of Alan Angels, at least he said it on the podcast before. And I was like, Cooper, I didn't think you were gonna watch it, so I was like, Cooper's not watching it. Do I really want to watch? He got deep into the tournament. I'm like, do I really want to watch like 3 Alan Angels matches this week? Not particularly. No offense to the guy. No, I'm glad he's found a spot, and a lot of people think he's great.
He's got a thing, I suppose, for some people. For some
I
promoters.
like Titus Alexander, so I was a little ticked that I'm like, all right, we're going with Angels over Alexander, whatever, bro.
It was not the most exciting matchup for sure, I will say. And, Titus Alexander, I feel like is always sort of like maybe 1 or 2 steps away from like really clicking in for me. And it does drastically depend on who he's in the ring with. And unfortunately, with Alan Angels, you're not going to get that other step, That being said, though, I do think this being like the first Alan Angels match I've seen in a while, he has gotten better in this heel persona of his. It's still not great or terribly interesting, but I think he has kind of a foundation maybe that he can build off of now. He cuts off Alexander's fire spots pretty well. And the bits of offense that he does get in, I think he makes it snappy. But I mean, ultimately, I think he's got to maybe clear up what exactly it is that he is.
Yep. Then we moved to Naito versus Dieter Schwartz. I saw this had a 4-on cage match, and I said, Naito actually had a good match this weekend. I'm not watching this one.
Well, so wait, did you say that you didn't watch this one?
I watched Naito's next match in the tournament. I skipped this
You
one.
skipped the first one. I would maybe go back and watch this one actually. I liked it quite a bit. I'll tell you what though, I really like this Dieter Schwartz guy. I think he's an interesting wrestler. He's got a cool kind of. I think his nickname is like the Catch Connoisseur or something. And like he presents himself like sort of a very throwbacky kind of like technical wrestler, but he's sort of a shit heel that like cheats anyways and like finds a bunch of like little kind of ways to bend the rules and stuff. So Dieter I thought came across really well, and Naito for his part I thought was not painful to look at. So.
We then move on to the last match I watched of this night, which is my match of the night: Yamato versus Alex Tischer, or Tischer.
Tischer, yes.
Tischer, who is formerly Alexander Wolf.
Yes.
In NXT.
From Sanity.
And Sanity, which has been in progress for the last couple of years. I've always liked Tischer, the Axeman. And I just thought this match was really snug. I thought everything looked really well. The crowd was really behind Tischer, which made it a lot more interesting for me. They didn't work at it was a lot of it was very slow, methodical. Like it was very like feeling out process into moments of speed, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It felt like a lot of the throwback WXW matches of old, other than just like the big brawling types. And I don't know, I bit for a lot of the stuff. And I think I'm saying Yamato, right?
Yes,
That's
Yamato.
the correct way to.
Yamato, I have heard Gutsdozer, who is the main English language Dragon Gate fan that I listen to. He sometimes will say it as Yamato, which I don't.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if it was Yamato or Yamato.
But the commentary here was definitely emphasizing the first A in there. So.
Yeah, but I really think his finisher is pretty good and can hit out of nowhere. And he got pretty far in this tournament. So, what did you think, Cooper?
I thought I was kind of bored by this, honestly.
Look, wait, was this the one you were expecting me to pick?
No, I was expecting you to go for the Naito one. But I don't know. I thought they took a little too long to get to the kind of bursts, and the bursts weren't all that exciting for me. Yamato, I think, is good still, old as he is, but he is definitely older than he was, in his prime. And Tischer, I like when he is going for more of kind of a wild sort of brawling kind of style, which, I think he did more so in NXT, as opposed to, this sort of I know he was in like ring comp and stuff with like Walter and Thatcher, but like that's just not the kind of wrestler I imagine him as. So maybe it's just a case of my expectations, but I was not super into this one, honestly.
What did you think of the main?
I liked the main, actually. I liked it quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was. I'm about to get into the couple next days, but you're about to get some spoilers about some of the specifically one man who was featured in the main event. I saw it was 26 minutes, and I was like, I'll go back to this if I have time, and I did not find the time because I was trying to maximize the amount of match. Because I was like, I got to go through the whole weekend. Day 2, I watched. Yamato versus Derek Stevens, which I thought was all right. Yamato took the win. Shire beat Zoltan. Chihiro and Murashima had a tag team match, which was pretty bad because the other wrestlers were not good.
Oh, damn.
Not really their fault. Peter Tahani beat Alan Angels, so my war is over. We had Ahura face Tetsuya Naito in Naito's best match since it's been a long time.
The Ahura match was your favorite here?
It was I don't know. It's not my favorite of the weekend. It was definitely it might have been my favorite of the tournament. I thought him and Naito worked really well together. And I thought it was best Naito looked in a long time. He worked to his strengths there. You know, obviously he's not the same man. He's got no knees, you know. Him and Tanahashi are one and the same. But I thought a lot of the high flying and stuff from both men looked really well. There's also a team in WXW, Cooper, called Planet Gojira. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not, but I am always here for any Gojiras.
I can only assume that they're heel because they tagged with Alan Angels later on in the next day. So,
okay. But well, maybe not these ones.
They come out in singlet. They're in like the Andre style, or no, like the close. They're in singlets. But they do wear like football pads to the ring with like spikes in it, like Legion of Doom with like jerseys and stuff. That say Planet Gojira. They had a street fight where they won their tag titles. So I thought it was pretty good. And then I watched the main, which was one called Manders, challenging for his former WXW World Unified title against Elijah Bloom. I've never seen Elijah Bloom a day in my life before this. He is like, to describe him, he's like if Eric Stevens now, with all his tattoos, went back to a time machine and bulked up. Like, just gained mass. To the point where they were in a tag match the next day, and it was very, like, they very much acknowledged each other. Like, whoa, you have tattoos too. It was very weird. I didn't know the story into this one. But I thought Bloom just had a giant neck tattoo of completely black around his neck. But for some reason, he was just wearing, like, black neck paint just around the neck. Like, completely blacked out. And it came off in the middle of the match. It threw me off. This is pretty good. They built off of Mander's win last year for 16 Karat Gold, where the whole thing was he faced Ahura in the finals, and in a very cowboy way, Ahura's like, in the middle of the match, just give me your best shot kind of thing, see if I can take it, and Manders runs the ropes 3 times, lariats his head. And to finish this match, basically Bloom was working Manders' arm the whole match. Very great limb work in this, to the point of he busted open just the part of Manders' arm right above his arm pad. So he was constantly bleeding for, like, in the middle of the match. Every time he did a lariat, he just couldn't pin him, or if he pinned him, it was too late kind of thing. He had some wicked ones. And he finally, like, goaded him in. He said, here, you know, give me your best shot. And Manders ran the ropes 3 times, hit him with it. Bloom was able to keep his feet up. Manders' arm was just completely shot, and he was able to just put him away. I thought that was pretty solid. I wouldn't say a match of the year, but I enjoyed what I saw. I liked Elijah Bloom more the next day, mainly because he wasn't facing Manders, and I was like really hoping my boy would pull through. Also, I didn't like the giant black neck like paint that he had all over him for no reason.
Sure.
It was very, because I was like, oh, if that's his look, that's his look. But when it started coming off, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Like, what is this supposed to symbolize? You know, I'm sure it was probably something. And he kept doing this like weird pose where he would like stick 2 of his fingers. Here, let me see if I can turn. I have my camera on. I forgot to turn it on. But he kept doing this in the middle of the match. This is his pose. He would go like this, and he did it like every other moment, like every big moment. He would go like right before it's finished. I'm like, all right, just hit your move, man. Don't hit your pose for the, you know, like.
He's getting his taunt ready for when they put him in 2K. Dog.
He's trying to build up the XP meter as fast as possible.
Yep. It was funny. They had intermissions during this. I know you saw on the first day they had Walter versus Kaiser. I'm forgetting his other name. His
Axel Dieter.
The second day they had Thatcher versus Awesome Andy, and the third day was Ilya versus Pinta.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it was like the biggest moment of the match, and it's like, all right, hit your pose for literally like a split second, just like 1 second, and then run. I'm like, just hit your move, man. It's like, especially when I see the pose for the 20th time in a 27-minute match, I'm like, all right, I get your point, you know?
Yeah.
But the third day, I thought was really, really solid. I think you should go back and watch the third day if you can. So the final four was Ahura, Thomas Shire, Peter Tahani, and Yamato. Ahura defeated Thomas Shire to start the day, and Shire, I think, turned heel. He attacked Ahura after the match and completely messed up his arm and his limb work and stuff. Tahani stole the victory over Yamato. We then had a 6-man with one called Manders teaming up with Los Tranquilos de Japón versus Alan Angels and Planet Gojira. And Planet Gojira are the tag champs. So this was very funny because Naito and Bushi are doing, the pose. And they keep going, they're holding it, and they go and like look at Manders, and so Manders eventually goes to do it. And as soon as he does, they drop all their arms. They're like, "F you, man."
Oh yeah.
It was a fun little match. They picked up the win. I think Manders, Naito and Bushi held down Alan Angels, and Manders lariated him to hell and back. After the match, Manders tried to get his hat. His cowboy hat on the Naito, and then he threw it out of the way. I'm pretty sure he gave him a baseball cap, though. And then they did their pose, and Manders kept trying to jump in. And eventually, at one point, he did get his arm up, like, very quickly in the pose. So, new member, guys. Official. Do you expect him in Pro Wrestling? No, I know you're excited for that, Cooper. The Arc.
Oh, I'm tapped in. Trust me.
Then
tapped
the
in.
match of the weekend was Chihiro Hashimoto versus Danny Luna. My point of Chihiro being small is more for this match because obviously I knew like Shire was going to tower over it, but like Luna towered over Chihiro, and they did not hold anything back. If you can imagine this match in your head, Cooper, I'm sure it's exactly what happened. They let it run for a solid 16 minutes. I think the only spot they didn't hit was the corner German suplex that it does over the top rope. But, I mean, just everything was snug. And this is when we did... I think actually these are two people I drafted for the Haasland promotion and WWEGL as my two stalwarts. This is a Haasland Promotions dream match. When I saw that they did this, I was like in shock. I was like, well, now I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it. But when I saw they did this match, I was like, well, now I got to buy Triller because I want to see this in HD. And God bless you. Then we had that Minoru Suzuki and Elijah Blum versus Bobby Guns Eric Stevens match, which main spot is Bobby Guns giving Eric Stevens a smoke and giving Suzuki a smoke, and Suzuki did power drive Stevens for the win. We then had, this was also really funny, you should go back and watch this match, Lucha Rules 6-man tag team match. It was Mala Fama, which is Arez and Toxin, and Ricky Sosa, who was originally supposed to be in this tournament, but dropped out. Yep, Sosa. Dropped out at the last minute because he was, I think, signed by TNA, or he was at least in the TNA tapings, but he still came for Sunday. He just wasn't in the tournament anymore. They fought Spiderfly, Titus Alexander, and Zoltan. And this is just a PWG match, brother. It was a PWG match in the best ways, very similar how the Mile High Madness was. And there was a lot of very fun spots. There's no way to describe better than just go out and seek it. I think it's got a pretty high rating on Cage Match. It's got like a 8.57, which I'm pretty sure is the highest rated match the whole weekend. But it is very funny. Every match on day 3 is rated on Cage Match except for the actual 16 karat gold final. Nobody cared about that on that website because it was two German guys.
Oh,
they said we don't actually care about WXW.
God damn.
But the final was Peter Tehani versus Ahura. And let's just say I will, after watching this match and seeing the guys that, obviously, like, it's fun having all the foreigners there in WXW, but, like, obviously this is a tournament specifically to prop up, their talent, mix them in with people from outside, get them, reps, and also allow them to, build their stars. And I think Ahura is, 31, and the story of this tournament was, I think if he loses any match, I don't know, maybe just like forever, it may have just been the tournament, he was going to retire. So the whole time he's having this run of like,
yes, yeah. They made a very big point about that.
So
the first
after
round.
He had that very long match in the first round, he beat Naito in the second, in a very he beat him clean too, clean as a whistle. Not even like a shock roll up pin, like just beat him with his finisher, which is like he puts him in a attitude adjustment position, and then flips him over where their head is like facing his knees, and does like a spinning thing and land them flat on their back. It's a pretty cool looking move. How realistic it is, that's not here or there. It looks great whenever the camera catches it right. Because I think WXW, obviously this, I don't know about what you thought, but I thought overall, especially their camera work and their staging was very good for an indie. I thought their entrances were pretty good. I thought the whole staging setup, but they had the diamond in the middle and stuff like that, looked pretty cool. Whatever venue they were running out of.
Yeah, WXW have traditionally in like the past 10 years, I think, been on the higher end of certainly the European indies in terms of production, but even some of the higher profile American ones too. Their camera work, their audio is actually pretty good, which, hey, Britain, fucking take some notes, steal some of those German engineering guys, I guess.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I honestly thinking of, other than like maybe DPW, of like all the indies that are active now, again, they don't twirl around as much, they have their spots and kind of thing. I think this was in Oberhausen, but
Oberhausen's been their home base forever.
I think other than DPW, this is the best looking indie in the world. It depends on what your classification of indie is, but I'm thinking of like the big ones in America. I don't think any of them have like that great of production, especially not GCW. There was a couple small things every once in a while. I really like too, they kept the time on the side so you could see how long the match was going at all times. They had one little mistake whenever Ahura came out for the main event. They accidentally flashed the Peter Tehani nameplate under him for a second, and they went away. But other than like a couple like technical stuff there, like their camera work and their staging is always great. And it strikes a balance of like, you can tell it's still an indie and like the fans are close and stuff like that, but also it does feel a little big time, It feels like its own space, something like a Lucha Underground would feel like. I thought this match was really good. I wouldn't say match of the year. They kind of botched the finish a little bit. A lot of it had a really good limb work because Tehani was working over Ahura's arm that was previously injured by Shire. And I didn't even really talk about it, but Shire's like meltdown after he lost, because he kept it was very much like a guy turning heel for the first time where he's not sure what he wants to do, because he attacks his arm, he starts walking away, and then he just thinks back on it, and he attacks it again. He grabbed a chair and like was walking away and just smacks it again as he's going away. Just going through the throes of what he really wants to do or not. Still trying to be prideful, but he can't fight it that he's pissed that he lost. And Tony, the crowd did not want this guy to win at all. They hated this dude.
Yeah.
And they loved the horror, especially because it was his final match. Possibly, if he lost. And so, I thought it worked really well. Horror hit his finisher early on, and Tony just kicked out. And I was like, uh-oh. Naito lost that finisher, bro. And then his finish was he hit it one more time. He got him at the last second, with a move, reversed it, hit it his finisher. But he didn't fully get it. Like, he kind of hit it where his back hit first. Which didn't look great, but also I don't mind it as much because it's the last match of a grueling tournament kind of thing. You can say, it looks ugly, that's fine. And the crowd was pretty hyped. I thought this was pretty good. Maybe I might keep tuning in to WXW at least for another month because I'm going to keep Triller to watch the Mark Hitchcock. So, gotta love that. But time for AEW. Finally, World Travelers from Mexico. Wait.
Well, so here's the thing. This is edging on 3 hours. Right now.
Yeah. We're gonna speed round this.
Okay.
I only watched Dynamite, so
brother, I collided.
Yeah. Well, I was watching Kickle. Anyway, we started off MJF, Kevin Knight. Really good match. What did you think, Cooper?
Match of the year.
Match of the year. Thank you. After the match, MJF tries to attack Kevin Knight. The Jet Set Radio makes a save. Later on, what other matches did we get? We had a little Ciampa segment with FTR, which led to a match which Ciampa lost on Saturday and turned heel with FTR on Mark Briscoe. What did you think of that, Cooper?
I, as a big NXT Black and Gold guy, quite appreciated it. The Dynamite segment, like building up to it, I could kind of take or leave just because I was like, oh dear God, please do not bring Jonathan Wrestling into my fucking company. But I think they dissuaded my fears on the Collision turn. So I think it's just back to regular old crazy fucking psycho killer. So
yeah,
I thought this was cool as well.
I did too. As mentioned, David Finlay debuted after Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy beat the Dogs. Cooper's favorite tag team in the world, The Inspiration, debuted and got squashed by the Brawling Birds.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. If this is what they're doing, I'm totally cool with the Inspiration.
FTR and the Bucks had like a backstage talking segment. Jon Moxley wrestled the Alchemist, Hechicero.
That brother was doing all kinds of hand
hand gestures. A lot of great limb work in this one. Mox, of course, wins because we're moving on to the pay-per-view. Swerve ambushed Brody King and choked his tail out. Challenged him for Evolution. Tekla and Thunder Rosa had a women's title match where Thunder Rosa lost in her hometown to the Toxic Spider, and Chris Statlander made the save. Hangman had a squash, which then led to MJF confronting him, which then led to the Don Callis family attacking him from behind. A team of Fletcher, Fletcher, Okada, and Davis. Jet Set Radio made the save, even though Kevin Knight still had his ribs taped up. Don Callis comes out and he says, "You guys said you'll take on anyone, anywhere. Well, I've talked to Tony Khan, and we are taking our title match tonight in the main event. Kevin Knight and Hangman will have to pull double duty as Jet Set Radio defended their trios titles against the Don Callis family team of Okada, or Ozzy Okada. That's what we're gonna call this.
Yes, there you go. Finally, the reunion we all were craving.
Yes. Someone said Kussy, because Ozzy and then Okada. Somebody said that.
Don't stop.
That might have been Kevin Koo who said that.
Oh my god.
But anyway.
Okay.
Someone said Fletcher had a bunch of names possibly, but they
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. They wrestled in the main event. This was a pretty good brawl with world title implications because MJF ended up coming down and being the deciding factor in this match, pulling Hangman off the apron, hitting him the side, leading Kevin Knight all alone to be hit by a Rainmaker and a pile driver by Donkzilla. 1, 2, 3. Don Callis family are your new World Trios champions, and for the first time ever, Mark Davis has gold in AEW, which makes me feel like he will get another contract, which makes me a very happy boy. Cooper, what did you think of this?
Match of the year.
100%. I do want to say, we ran past it really quick. I'm really loving everything with this Darby, OC, and Dog stuff. I think every time they have a match, like the not guillotine, but the sleeper hold that Gabe did on OC on like the steps where he just deadlifted him, I thought was sick. I just think everything they do just looks like a fight, and I love that. And then Finley. But then we move on to Collision. Run down Collision real quick for me. What I'd like to say on it. You don't have to give me all the matches, but what do you think is important?
Collision minute. It opened up with a tag title match between FTR and the Rascals. I made a post on the Strongest Style Instagram that the Rascals have the absolute worst hand taunt in wrestling. This was proven in the match. Some people were really raving about this. I thought it was whatever. I guess they're still getting TV time, so whatever. Daniel Garcia versus Tommaso Ciampa. This one was really good. Garcia has finally found out that he can just wear trunks, and like that's fine. Like he didn't need. I don't know what the basketball shorts were about. But he's back to just the regular old trunks. He's got the Death Riders logo on his butt, and he's a heel. So this is a pretty good version of Danny. He gets the win here over Ciampa. And this kind of precipitates the whole, psycho killer turn thing. Mark Briscoe comes out initially to try and help Ciampa out. But then Ciampa is still frustrated from his loss, starts like shoving Mark around. FTR then come out. And to try to antagonize a little bit more. At this point, Briscoe and Ciampa are walking up the ramp, and Ciampa is behind him the entire time. And like as I was watching it, I was thinking like, surely to God, there's no way they do this on just like a random ass collision, right? And then they just did it on a random ass collision. So I was pretty glad that they just cut right to it. Let's see. Bunch of nothing. A very good women's tag match. The I believe in-ring debut of Lena Cross with the Megasis Megan Bayne against the Timeless Love Bombs. Lena Cross fits like a glove with Megan Bayne, obviously. Anybody who has looked at making Lena Cross for like even a second probably could have told you that. They beat the Timeless Love Bombs and pretty convincingly, I would say. They're probably going to keep rolling this for a little bit after the Marina and Tony thing wraps up, which I'm cool with. I think that's a good program for them. trio squash match, the in-ring debut of the Dogs in all full unit form here. Really fun just to see Kid and Connors and Finlay just like absolutely ragdoll three guys around for like maybe a minute. Finlay, I think, gets the win with the overkill. Looks pretty solid in his official AEW debut. And then to cap off the night, we had a non-title match between the New Japan TV champion, the Alpha, the Big Baby, Konosuke Takeshita, and the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, Claudio Castagnoli. This was also a match of the year. It was fucking great. Go watch it.
Hello, all. Sorry to jump ahead here. This was originally recorded a couple weeks ago, but during the recording, specifically my mic was absolutely messed up. That's what my mic wasn't. It was my headphone quality, and I cut out half of my normal mic, and because of that, I lost all my audio for this last little bit where we talked about Collision and then did AEW predictions for Revolution. But don't worry, by the time you're listening to this, Revolution is come and gone. We've talked about it in some form or fashion. That should be up soon. But basically, this is the outro. So with that being said, Thank you for listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. That has been it for us this week, but we will be back next week with another 3 hours of rousing wrestling content. You can follow us on social media at Strongest Style, me at by Logan Hurston, Jack at Average Darth. Cooper doesn't have social media, but Cooper would like to say that I am the greatest host, obviously. He really wanted to reiterate that, but sadly he couldn't come on for this audio portion. If you want to follow us on any of your podcast players, we're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, where you should like and subscribe if you listen there. We will see you guys later. Goodbye, and good night. Bang.